Everything's working correctly. So, today we are hopefully back to playing some vintage. I'm always a little scared of trying to stream vintage just because sometimes the leagues take a long time to fire, but it seemed to work out well last time. It might be just like the time of day has issues, but there were a couple of changes I wanted to make to the deck. We 4-1 with it last time, I think. Some like irrational amount of luck. So I think the consensus was that like Soul Ring was bad, and Leonin Arbiter was very medium. So I'm considering possibly like cutting the Arbiters from the deck. And then doing something like playing some sort of small Stoneforge package, or main decking some number of Containment Priests, or both. I don't know. I also think I wanted to swap out Ghost Quarters for just basic planes. I think a lot of the, maybe not a lot, but a couple of the biggest decks in the format. Oh crap, my frames are dropping like crazy. Is that just a blip? Oh. Alright, I guess that was just like a little blip on the radar. Whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, a bunch of the non-shops decks of the format have a decent number of basics so that you can't just like Ghost Quarter them. It's like the normal Paradoxalists that I was seeing were 2 main board islands and then they sideboarded 2 islands. A lot of the blue-red control, whatever that deck is called, it's like Jeskai Mentor, but it's not always even playing Mentor. Not always even playing white, so whatever. But that deck plays, it's like 1 island, 1 mountain, or like 1 mountain on the side, stuff like that. This Ghost Quarter isn't as good, especially without Arbiter. I think Arbiter is a kind of shitty. Maybe I just had like bad experience with it, but it seemed pretty aggressively not great against a lot of the matchups. Like it was my worst like turn 2 play. That being said, something like Containment Priest would probably not be very powerful. I could see like main decking like 2 Stoneforge, 1 Batter Skull, which seems kind of horrible though. Because I think I think like the normal sideboard package I saw for some of these lists was like 3 Stoneforge, 1 Batter Skull, 1 sort of Fire and Ice in the sideboard a lot of the time, because the sort of Fire and Ice and stuff can come in against the slower decks. The Batter Skull can come in against stuff like shops, or you want just a 4/4 lifelinker, stuff like that. These are all like possible additions. I could main deck some number of Swords of Plowshares maybe, but I don't think that's right. Could also play a 4th Relic Order. Anyway, step number 1, I'm definitely gonna swap out like these 2 Ghost Quarters, I think, because they were pretty miserable, and we also definitely needed white sources to cast these Relic Orders reliably. What would I... So Soul Ring was up for cut as well, so I guess that's 5 cards. We could play like... We could play the Stoneforge package in the main, or like go up to 4 Relic Orders, play some number of Containment Priests. Maybe I'm supposed to be cutting the Soul Ring for like a land, since it's a mana source, but we do have 30 mana sources instead of the Soul Ring. 8 of which are temporary, but... I also think Damning Sphere could probably be cut. It seems like kind of weak hate is not really the card you want to bring in against shops, even though it's okay there. And it's like very medium against paradoxical outcomes, stuff like that. Let's see. Maybe this deck does need just a clock, so I can just main deck some Stoneforge Mystics. The issue is I can't really main deck sort of Fire and Ice in my 4 Stony Silence deck. So it's a little bit inconsistent, I suppose. I'm going to want 3 Stoneforges in the 75. I could see like 2 Stoneforge, 1 Batter Skull, and then like a Stoneforge. Let's cut all of these. Just like main deck a Containment Priest for the Mize. Wait, no, this is 3 Stoneforges. So something like this. And then we have a third Stoneforge and the Sword of Fire and Ice on the sideboard. Like, maybe that's shit, but honestly, it's vintage. I got no idea what I'm fucking doing. I could play a fourth Relic Order. Do I own a fourth? I do. I think I actually bought 4 just in case, I guess. Oh, I got the Damping Sphere. Maybe just play 4 Relic Order, move the third Priest to the side as well. Just play, like, the Miser's main deck Containment Priest. Seems not great, but... fuck it. I'm trying to mess with this stuff. But again, this is all just kind of experimenting with stuff. 2 Stoneforge, 1 Batterskull seems pretty inconsistent, though. With the rate that this deck needs to just... like, have, like, viable threats to draw. I wonder if this deck wants, like... Oh, okay, I was about to say Chrome Mox, but then I realized we're Stone Sands decks. Never mind. We'll just try like that. Fuck it. I do need to update all these deck lists, though, so that might take a hot minute. I guess we can just queue into Vintage while I'm updating the deck lists, just in case it takes a while. This is still 60. So we went down to 0 Arbiters. Went up to 4 Relic Orders. We added 2 Stoneforge Mystic, 1 Batterskull. We cut the Soul Ring. Maybe cutting the Soul Ring and adding a Batterskull to my deck at the same time wasn't a great idea. And then, oh, and we put in, like, a main deck Containment Priest. And then we went to 3 Containment Priest on the board, 0 Damping Sphere, playing this other Stoneforge, and Sword of Fire and Ice. Is that correct? Um, 24, 29, yeah, it's 60. Alright. Updated on Cardboard Live as well. So this is what I was concerned about, like, sometimes the vintage queues can drag on a little bit. And it does make for good streaming, obviously. If we have to sit here for too long, I'm just gonna, like, bail and play Legacy instead, but I would love to just mess around with Vintage some more, because it was really fun last time I streamed it. And we cut the Soul Ring, all the Leonin Arbiters. Oh, I didn't update the Ghost Quarters. Alright. Would love to play first, I guess. So what do we got here? Turn 1, Thalia. Could also turn 1 Thalia and Revoker, but we're on the play, so I don't think I want to Revoker yet. I wonder if running out this Mana Crypt is actually correct. Probably. Oh, he's cast these Spirit Guides or something. I mean, don't play this deck to not keep these hands. If my opponent is on shops, this hand is... Oh, this hand's okay. We have an almost castable Relic Order and a Phyrexian Revoker. Revoker can just, like, snap going Ballista. Main deck Leyline of the Void, huh? Okay, maybe they're not on shops, or maybe they're on shops that really doesn't want to lose to Dredge. What you got, opponent? Ooh, just shops with main deck Leyline? Is that what this format has come to? Ooh, now we can just revoke her the Soul Ring. Always heads. Damn. Might just, like, empty my hand here. Although it gets really scary against a Walking Ballista. Revoking Soul Ring seems. Maybe I don't just dump my hand, but if I can only... Like, I want to play Wingmare and Revoker. Maybe it's not worth. Maybe I can just, like, not use these Spirit Guides and just cast this Revoker. But I think I do. I just have to name Soul Ring here. It's not like taxing shops with, like, Wingmare is super irrelevant. Hmm. Sure. You name nothing. They blind name the Stoneforge Mystic, I guess. I think that's the only activated ability that's not a mana ability in my deck. Yeah, I don't have, like, Eldrazi Displacer. My opponent also doesn't seem to be on traditional shops, right? Sorcerer Spyglass main deck, Leyline main deck. They named Wasteland. They have... Oh, yeah. I can't name lands. Heads always works. Yeah. Aw, man. We immediately drew the Wasteland, too. I guess I'll play it. Really just trying to dodge Walking Ballista here. Would be quite bad for me. It's hell. Oh shit, we're just gonna get rip helmed. Apparently my opponent's on that. I guess that explains the main deck Leyline of the Void. Interesting. Don't think we could have played around that very much. Could have, like, ran out that Wingmare turn earlier to slow them down, but my opponent had a ton of mana, so... What's wrong with my deck here? Did I not update it properly? Alright, but anyway, this matchup. So they're on, like, Rip, or not Rip, but, like, Leyline. How do they put a Leyline into play if they don't just have it in their opener? What's their plan after that? I don't know. I don't really want this sort of Fire and Ice plus Stoneforge, I don't think. Just because we want a bunch of Stonies and Katakis. I like Chalice on the play to prevent Moxen. We just cut, like, 2 Spirit Labyrinths. My opponent doesn't... Oh, no. Cut Containment Freeze before Spirit. Spirit attacks for 3, at least. I figured out what was wrong with that other deck list. So this seems okay. Probably cut the Chalice on the draw. Oh, wait, no. Do I... I don't know if I want Plows. I don't know what's in my opponent's deck. But... we have Relic Orders to, like, beat Leylines and stuff if they just try to helm me again. Well, this hand sucks. We can turn one an Elvish Spirit Guide. This hand seems much stronger. On the play, I think I'm okay. Actually, wait, yeah, on the play, I'm definitely keeping this hand. I forgot we could actually turn one thing as well. I think I want to run out Stony before Kataki. What's up, Army? How's it going? Let me finish finally updating this deck list. There we go. Now I think all the deck lists are good to go. So we just like turn 1 Stony, turn 2 Kataki. Hope that gets there. And also Wasteland them at some point, maybe. Hopefully they don't Wasteland my white source. That'd be bad. I guess I need another land. I kind of hate that. I kind of hate keeping that, but I think I kind of need to protect my... It makes like future Leonin Relic Orders castable if my opponent doesn't Wasteland me. It also lets me use my Wasteland proactively. Lets me do a lot of things. Like cast a Kataki. And throw a Sphere in a couple turns. I almost just want to Wasteland their factory, but maybe that's not loose. My opponent does have a Sphere in play. We can likely draw something before my opponent. How greedy am I? Not that greedy. Yeah, if my opponent just has like soul lands, they can still start casting stuff. Can they take a Stony off the table? Oh, we're for sure pitching this Spirit Guide to cast this Kataki so we can also Wasteland this Workshop. Maybe we should have Wastelanded the Tomb and just blown up all their artifacts, but I think if they want to keep them around by paying a bunch of mana, that's fine with me. That's some quality of life changes. Got another box to sleep for anti just like 10 cards. I mean, that's what I've been doing for a while, Army. Definitely a nice quality of life thing. Alright, Kataki killed 3 artifacts. It's pretty good. 2 of them were useless because Stony, but... Stage? My opponent also like a Stage Depths deck? Because that would be horrifying. And we have Caracas, actually. They could copy my Caracas, bounce my Kataki. That's actually a little bit obnoxious, because Kataki's our only threat right now. Really should have wasted that tomb instead of the workshop. This is a weird workshop. It's like just actual stacks. And I don't have another land, so I can't replay that. Our plan is just like play Wingmare now anyway. This Caracas makes my Kataki really bad unless we find a Wasteland or Strip Mine. Hey, cat, stop that. Hey, cat, spilled water. And also kick her out. Alright. A Relic Order. Am I supposed to just cast this as a 2/2? I feel like that's gotta be wrong. I don't have a chair coming in. I feel like casting this as a 2/2 against the artifact deck feels very wrong. Just play Kataki. They bounce it, whatever. Didn't even bounce it. They can always just bounce it on my turn later, but... Opponent has a lot of mana. Crucible. It doesn't really do anything still, unless they find a wasteland or, like, strip mine. Ooh, we found a strip mine. We can get our Kataki back online. Oh, wait, never mind. They just played a Crucible. Definitely using this strip mine to cast spells. Am I supposed to even play this? I keep having to, like, pay for it with Tabernacle. This actually deals them damage or makes them tap the Caracas, though, to keep the Crucible around. They have to either take 2 off Ancient Tomb or tap this Caracas so I can attack them for 2. So it actually seems okay to play here. I guess they might have Urborg in their deck. Like, tap Tabernacle for mana and stuff, and, like, cast a Leyline of the Void. They do have Depths. We have the whole Depths combo, but we have... Oh, they can keep doing it, but then now they need to find an artifact for destruction, or a land destruction spell. So we can just Caracas the Merit Lage right now. Unless they blow up my Caracas here. I'm playing a very, very weird deck. I feel like we're pretty favored in this matchup, though, just based on, like, the stuff my opponent is trying to do. They need to find a Wasteland or Strip Mine to beat my Caracas. And then... Oh, alright, step 1. But now they have to, like, play lands for 2 turns to get the Dark Depths combo back on, and we have the Strip Mine in play. Mox also hit 100. Yeah, his message was, gotta lock Army of Thalia out of here, too. Yesterday. I'm just gonna pay for it with the Caracas, because I think that's what my opponent wants to kill anyway. With this Wasteland, so... Wow, going after my Strip Mine? Weird. What do I go after from the opponent is the question. I guess just their Workshop? Doesn't really matter, they can play it, whatever. Whenever I dead bits, I'm unmovable. What a tilt. So I can play, like, Stage? Keep the Crucible around, but now they're going to 2 of the Kataki. I don't know what their plan is. They can't use these tombs anymore because this thing's just going to attack them. What do I want to play here? Could just play Relic Order and exile this Crucible, but I guess that's probably the safest line, right? not even play the Dark Depths, but even without the Caracas on the Dark Depths, I can just attack for lethal at that stage. Alright, so my opponent's on, like, super weird depths stacks stuff, so I just don't think I want Stoneforges at all. I think my disruptive creatures are fine. Hey, dang it, cat! Hey. Alright, later, army. Sorry about that. Dang cat. We got 2 minutes to sideboard. So, opponent on... Like, none of our cards are very good. Maybe I just keep in Stoneforge Batterskull to beat him down? Stony seems great. Our taxing effects seem great. Revoker, Relic Warder. Chalice is worse on the draw. Could see cutting it. But I definitely don't like bringing in Sword of Fire and Ice when my opponent's so soft to Stony Silence. I'm just bringing all the Mystics to find Batterskull for a better clock. Instead of like a 3-1? Maybe 3-1's better. Yeah, fuck it, let's just go like that. Being on the draw is going to sting here. We have turn 1 Stony with like double Wasteland effect. I think we just have to keep this. Oh, we also have a lot of lands, and my opponent is actually pretty taxing. Caracas is notably also good. I think this hand's worth keeping, but it's definitely loose. Considering we just have absolutely no clock. I feel like my opponent doesn't really have a clock either. The old workshop into mirror image. That's pretty good. Oh, that combos with Dark Depths too, doesn't it? That's cool. Well, if they try to do that, we have Caracas. I think I just go land pass. Because I can't cast the Stony here. Well, our clock is in play now. It's my opponent's Mana Crypt. Hoping my opponent doesn't go nuts this turn, because we need to play the Stony on turn 2. Lock them out of Mirror Image and Mana Crypt. Oh yeah, they can do that. That's neat. I mean, again, I can still just keep hitting land drops. I don't very much mind it. We wanted to put this on cat. Like, we can still beat a Merit Lage. Their Mana Crypt is our clock. Doesn't look like they can do like the double sphere trick though. They're just kind of dirtling. Oh, they got a Wasteland. That's annoying. That's why I played out like my worst land here. Could have like maybe played my own Wasteland to prevent them from doing that, but again, don't really care that they're doing most of this stuff. They're just gonna die to their Mana Crypt. You also like draw another Spirit Guide or something. Guess we'll play out Wasteland now. I kind of want to protect my other white source and also protect the Caracas. Alright, they're just playing more spheres. Sure. We kept a very land-heavy hand. This is kind of fine. Opponent's going to die to this crypt eventually. Alright, so my opponent, I can finally cast... Oh, they're copying my strip mine? Interesting. Can I just fire it off in response? Because they can't do anything else, right? They have no more mana. Or they have one more mana. They can't activate its sphere, and my things cost 4 now because they're not copying a sphere. So I can play Karakas and still. So I can just strip mine their the Thespian stage, I guess. It's the only one that actually produces mana. Always wasteland the workshop later, but they take them down to 1 mana. Yeah, let's just get the workshop. Alright. Now we just Stony Silence my opponent and watch them die to their Mana Crypt. So my 2 drops cost 4 mana. Notably. Can't really revoke anything. Relic Order can start making my stuff cost. I could also just like wasteland my opponent's workshop and just literally let them die to these things, but I think I can do that next turn after playing a 4 mana Stoneforge Mystic. That literally, it's just a Squire because I already drew the Banner School. Let's just shuffle that there deck. But next turn I can just wasteland the workshop and also put in a 4/4, which just really, really ups my clock here. We're pretty insulated against Merit Lage with both Karakas and Wasteland in play. My opponent's also nowhere near the mana needed to activate that Thespian stage. Really glad we kept that super mana heavy hand against my opponent's 900 Sphere of Resistance draw. Ooh, that's a lot of mana that you got there, bud. Alright. Not unbeatable. I'm gonna copy something with stage at the end here. Can always just Relic Ward it out of the way. To make it a wasteland, huh? I think I have to wasteland their wasteland, but then they get so much mana off this academy. But wasteland the academy, they can wasteland my if they use this wasteland on my Karakas, then they're just nowhere near depthing me again. And again, we're gonna watch them slowly die to their Mana Crypt. Deal. Attack. It's Wasteland. It's Wasteland. Now they have to pay 2 life if they want to keep their lodestone in play. And if they don't, we just attack them. Yep. Seem pretty dead to me. Yeah, there's dead. Sweet. Got that one. Alright. What do I even call that? It's like depth shops? Question mark? We won. We lost game 1. Won games 2 and 3. That was a weird one, for sure. Vintage is a weird format that I just have no idea what I'm doing at any given time. We lost the die roll, which is never good for this deck. This deck just wants to win the die roll all the time. You saw how bad that game 3 went just because we were on the bad end of the die roll. I think we're gonna keep this. We're good against like shops and PO. Well, I guess both these are good against PO. But depending on how many Moxen my opponent plays on turn 1, we'll decide on which of those cards I'm running out. Zero. Guess we'll play Spirit first. Next turn we can Stony or Revoke. Probably Stony, unless I know what my opponent's on. If my opponent's on like the blue-red deck with like Dak Jace, I might just Revoke or Dak or something. My opponent's just on like PO or something. I think my opponent's on the blue-red deck. I think I might use his other Spirit Guide to Revoker plus Wasteland here as well. Notably, I think I should have Wastelanded first if that were the case. So my opponent can't like float mana, like fire both my guys. Yeah, this is what I was concerned with. Now I don't know what to cast. Maybe I just cast nothing. No, we can run out of Stony. We have an extra Stony as well. So that I counter this one, it's not a big deal. They might not be like a deck that Stony's relevant, but all decks like this are going to be playing like Black Lotus on color Moxen at least. So it does something. But yeah, definitely should have Wastelanded main 1 so I didn't have to like make that decision. I could have just slammed Revoker on Dak Faden or whatever. Oh, wow, my opponent didn't want to trade. Interesting. Xanis Zio. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I wonder if I want to trade or I just want to like sit here at a standstill. Dak Faden, I guess. think I'd rather sit here at a standstill. My opponent didn't want to trade their snap for my Spirited Labyrinth, though, which is weird. Ancient Grudge, that's not great, but... I'm gonna have a second snap, maybe? Never watched it before now, but I saw your post about Moonbase on RPG Legacy. Saw you play D&T and love it. Do you ever play it in Modern? I do play it in Modern, Xanis. I've been kind of taking a reprieve from that currently. That's because I'm going to Eternal Weekend the first weekend of November, so I've been practicing a lot of Legacy and also messing around a little bit with Vintage as what's going on right now, but... I also play Modern D&T. I actually won a PPTQ at Moonbase with Black-White Eldrazi taxes. So I'm going to be moving back to Modern after Eternal Weekend because I have a PPT, or the RPTQ to prep for. Yeah, that's what I assumed. With that attack. Fortunately, like, just 2-1s with Flash are really good against my deck. When you don't draw, like, Thalia or Wingmare. Well, second half of this Revoker doesn't get Ancient Grudge until my opponent finds green mana, so... But as soon as they do, this thing just bites it. But we are going to name deck Faden again. Oh, well, that's green mana. Don't even know if my opponent like has Dak Faden in their deck. We're just kind of naming it because my opponent's like a blue-red control deck. So I would imagine that Dak Faden would be in there somewhere. I'm gonna wasteland their red source. I think it's more pivotal to their game plan than their green sources. I guess I'll run out second Stony in case they have like a bounce spell. Want to use a Black Lotus or whatever. I don't think there's much reason not to. The Snap's got a 7-turn clock on us. We really want to draw Thalia more than anything, because that's something that can block Snap, and also just be protected with Caracas. Well, it's okay. Definitely a Magic card that exists. Mana drain this? That's what it looks. Oh, dig through time. Interesting. It's a pretty strong Magic card. Ugh. I don't really know what my opponent is playing. Just like Rug Control? I don't even know if they're on Rug or they just have like a single Trop splashing their Ancient Grudge. Neither of these would surprise me. I'm gonna force that. Pitching Mental Misstep. Makes sense. If we draw Cavernous Souls, we can cast this Simian Spirit Guide. Probably gonna like Time Walk. Gosh, alright. Ooh, Young Peasy. That's horrifying. I think we're gonna not win this game. I suppose we could draw Stoneforge and maybe be doing something, but my opponent has 6 cards in hand. Well, they got a Lotus. It exists. Again, Thalia would still not be a terrible draw here. But my deck is full of a lot of terrible draws. Man, we've used one of each Spirit Guide, too. And we drew another one of each Spirit Guide, so we can't use one of them to cast the other. Not that, like, a 2/2 would be very redeeming on this board state. The perfect draw. We draw Batter Skull and cast it now. Alright, you got me, opponent. So I don't know what they're doing. One of the downsides of Vintage is just I never have any idea what's going on. I feel like Sword of Fire and Ice and maybe some number of plows are good against them, though. So, like, bring in this package, cut the Priest, and then cut, like, Relic Warders, probably. I don't know if I want to bring in all these plows, but... cut, like, one Stony. My opponent's probably only playing, like, on-color Moxen and Lotus. Actually, maybe we cut all the Stonies because we're bringing in, like, our quote-unquote equipment package. So I guess we can leave in Relic Warders to eat Moxen. And they're 2/2s, you can put equipment on them, I guess. Seems fine. Don't think I want Rip against, like, Snapcaster, Singleton, Dig Through Time, Singleton, Treasure Cruise, Ancient Grudge. Maybe. It's a lot of things that use their yard, but... I think we just want to, like, turn 1 Thalia, turn 2 Wingmare, or whatever. I would love to play first. Turn 1, and uncounterable Elvish Spirit Guide. Turn 1, counterable Phyrexian Revoker. Wow. This hand is pretty poor, but I think on a 6 with a Strip Mine, this is keepable. I don't think we're going to, like, accelerate out anything. I think I'm just going to go Plains Pass here. I don't want more lands. The only thing I play is just blind run out Phyrexian Revoker. Seems like not the best plan. See, now we can revoke Emerald. Or Ruby, oh god. Or Dak Faden that they play on turn 1 here. Hey, they do have Dak Faden in their deck, look at that. Discard Ponder and Brainstorm. Oh dear. That is not something you want to see your opponent do. Whew. I think I want to make my Revoker uncounterable. It makes me unable to cast this Relic Warder, but my opponent only has 4 cards in hand. If they don't have a removal spell for this deck, which I imagine they do because they discard 2 cantrips. Maybe I just run out Wingmare instead. Pressure this deck. Could also, like... no, because I can't make it uncounterable and Strip Mine them. I also can't notably Strip Mine them off of red, which is the most concerning color. I could Relic Ward them off of red this turn on an uncounterable Relic Warder. But they have 4 cards and discarded 2 cantrips. So I don't think I'm going to be, like, mana screwing them at all. I think we're just going to make it uncounterable for Phyrexian Revoker and hope for the best. Dak Faden. Hope they just don't have any removal spells in their hand. And their Ancient Grudge, probably Fire Ice, Lightning Bolt, Braid. Well, that's pretty strong. Ancestral Recall's a pretty good card. I hope they miss a land drop. Like, Wingmare, Strip Mine. Oof. Now we can just Wingmare. Ooh, we can Wingmare, Strip Mine very aggressively now. Kind of don't hate that, honestly. It's a little bit weird, but... I'm probably just going to force this. We're going to die in a fire. Well, time to hope that my board can limp me across the finish line, which does not look super likely. Opponent still has access to red mana. We need to draw, like, white source. Relic Ward that's Ruby, but now my opponent also has Volk. Weird take you have on red-white person. This deck is very bad. But very, very fun. We managed to, like, fumble our way through some weird fucking vintage decks. Alright, well, they're not killing my Wingmare yet. I might be able to take this Dak Faden off the table yet. Just need to draw another land for this Thalia now. Make my opponent's spells cost 2 more. Relic Ward, one of their Moxen. Not looking great for us. Yeah, my opponent is Bolt. Yeah, we're pretty fucked. 4 years ago, I turned away from Vintage Taxes, made it a top 8 cutoff, and left for food. My plan is just to kill time, because I'm going there on Friday. But now I have 2 buys. I was gonna like try to find a second buy. Yeah, we're just super dead here. Like actual no way we're winning on this board state. Save time. Go to another game. Yeah, I'm just like fucking around with bad vintage decks that I can actually play. Not gonna like borrow power or something. There's also like the bounty for top 4 deck lists that don't have any power in it. Also, I just don't have anything to do on that Friday, so we're just gonna play bad decks instead. This deck does a surprising amount of just, like, fumbling to victory. Sometimes you just, like, turn 1 Stony or turn 1 Thalia your opponent. More often than not, you get your turn 1 Thalia countered on, like, Forcible and just fucking die. I really want to. Everyone wants to trade. Yeah, no one wants to, like, buy power. Power is so expensive. Ooh, we drop in frames like crazy. Oh, no one's back. Weird. Oh, nope, it's dead again. Oh, no, Jack. I don't know what's going on with my frames. Apologies to chat, because my frames are just wildly fluctuating all over the place. I'm definitely not buying power. Fuck that. I don't need to play vintage. I'll mess around with terrible vintage decks instead and just play Legacy. Oh, was our opponent like the trophy leader? Was that him last game? Oh no. What was our opponent game? Oh, weird. The trophy leader was on that super weird Depths Shops deck. That matchup felt very good. I think I really like the Shops matchup with this deck. Turns out 4 main deck Relic Ward or 4 main deck Stony Silence, 4 main deck Provoker is really good against Shops. No, it's a very short trophy list. Only 84 people in the Vintage League. I forgot how much time these queues take on occasion. Make sure everything is updated currently. Do you play any other decks other than D&T decks? Not really. Or at least not at the moment, definitely. On Moto, my collection is pretty limited to stuff that I own, primarily than taxes. I also have like 5-color humans, I think, online, but other than that, it's mostly just taxes variants. It's just the style of deck that I really like to play. But I'm trying to work towards getting a sponsorship for the stream at some point, so I can like borrow cards for random decks. But until then, we're just gonna keep messing around with random shitters with Thalia in them. Oh no, this white trash deck isn't correct on Cardboard Live. Why is it 41 cards or 61 cards main deck? Oh, it just refuses to cut this ghost quarter. Why does it refuse to cut the ghost quarter? What? Can I just... There we go. Now it's 60-15. That should be right. Yeah, that looks better. Maybe there's a chance I'm supposed to, like, still swap around the numbers in this deck, like, main deck, all 3 Stone Forges and something. Alright, later, Camex. Have a good one. This queue doesn't fire. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're already deep into it. I could, like, play Legacy instead. But then I can't finish, like, either of the leagues, and then that's lame. I hope it fires, I guess. Look at the deck list here. So yeah, I could like take the Stoneforge and the Sobi, put them in, cut the Priest, and then move like a Relic Warder or Evoker to the board or something like that. Oh, there we go. Sweet. I played D&T to Modern. I was wondering what your opinion was on the white E&T, black-white taxes, and black-white E&T. Well, alright. So I'm not super big on just like black-white taxes without the Eldrazi element. There aren't a lot of cards with the color splash that I really go for. Except for like Wasteland Strangler is just exceptionally powerful in the deck. So I really like black-white E&T. Mono-white E&T is also fine. Just Eldrazi Displacer is really nutty in a lot of the Death and Taxes variants. I think everyone that isn't on Militia Bugler should probably be on Eldrazi Displacer. Because there are like the Militia Bugler mono white bills that are popping up. But there we go. Let's try this one more time. Oh, come back. There we go. Nope, come back. There we go. So we have what? Turn 1. Turn 1 like nothing. We can turn 1 a thing, but then if I like had 100% guarantee my opponent was on Dredge, I would keep this hand. But according to this is probably on shops, and also I'm just not gonna keep. If this was on planes, this probably is pretty easy to keep. But I think we just want a permanent white source like this. I think we're gonna bottom that. If my opponent is on shops, we can turn 1 a Stoneforge. Oh dear. Well, that's horrifying. Well, they're not on shops. May need to turn 1 the Spirit of the Labyrinth. Yeah, so my opponent's just on PO. Oh man, do they just like keep Lotus Recall, no lands, and then not find a land? God, that would be glorious. So anyway, back to the modern thing, I guess, because my opponent's trying to figure out how to cast something. I like black-white the most right now, but mono-white's also fine. Which also one fucking deal. I don't have a single 1-drop in my deck. Or in my main deck, at least. But it does add an artifact into play for their Opal. Ooh. Could turn 1 a Wingmare, but my opponent might have Force of Will. I could just turn 1 Spirit, turn 2 Wingmare. Just run Buglers, but with the speed of my meta, I needed fast clocks. I'm slowly collecting Displacer because they seem like the way to go. Yeah, that's the other way to go. I think that there's like a split between Bugler and Displacer. Because Displacer is an absurd magic card. If you untap with Displacer and some mana, especially with Aether Vial on your deck, it's just, you just go nuts. Wow, my opponent just concedes. Sick. So my opponent is on PO. So I don't think we have any sideboards for PO. Like the Sword of Fire and Ice, maybe? But it's obviously a Nombo with our 4 Stony Silences. I guess I'd like cut the Container Priest, because Container Priest doesn't do anything. Could maybe board in Kataki. I don't hate Katakis instead. Am I cutting one of these for a second Kataki, or because I just want the one? Don't have enough cards like board in Stoneforge package. And it's usually not worth boarding in Plow for their single mentor. You mostly just die to it. Just boarding like the singleton Kataki, that's probably fine. Anyway, I'm also looking at trying out green-white Eldrazi taxes. I think green-white and mono-white look a little bit stronger as the meta is like changing and evolving. I think we just snap keep this hand. So I'm going to be trying out a bunch of different Death and Taxes builds in November. After Eternal Weekend. To try and figure out what I want to be playing for the RPTQ. Well, Ancestral's a good way to, like, unmulligan yourself. Just slam a Spirited Labyrinth. Well, we have a second Spirited Labyrinth, so this forces mostly whatever. Leovold? What? Interesting pitch to the force. Was not expecting that. Sylvan. Oh, second Spirited Labyrinth's pretty good against Sylvan Library. I think I want to burn this Spirit Guide just to also Wasteland them here. Because we have plenty of mana. Don't think my opponent's a Snapcaster Mage deck. Even if they are. Yeah. Let's go get our Batterskull, I guess. Go for them beatdowns. There's a chance I'm supposed to be playing Stony in this turn instead, but my opponent hasn't played a Moxie yet. What does our equipment package look like? 1 Batterskull, and then a Sword of Fire and Ice on the board. I think I just want to clock my opponent. There's not doing anything here. And Thalia is not going to be very taxing or anything. My second Spirited Labyrinth is doing pretty good work against the Sylvan Library. Will also do pretty good work against a second Sylvan Library. Kataki not looking super hot right now. I doubt GTA ever does anything. Yeah, we're also like a 4 Stony Silence deck, so GTA is even more miserable. But yeah, there's just so many not creature decks. Batterskull's good against like shops. Sword of Fire and Ice is good when Stony's bad against like some of the blue-red control decks in the format. Alright. Go for it, opponent. I have a Thalia and a Spirit in play. It's like time walk. Oh, Mana Crypt, sure. Nets them 1 mana. They can like... We can't have a Paradoxical. We have a Spirit in play. They could dig through time, I suppose. Now they're down to 1 mana. They're also like dead if they lose the Mana Crypt flip. There's at 3. Sick, we did it. We won. Mono white shit bears. So my opponent was playing like Bug PO, I guess. There's no way you play Mox Opal in a deck that's not Paradoxical Outcome. But my opponent also pitched like a Leovold to their Force of Will. Put Bug PO here. Not sure if that's actually 100% correct, but my opponent felt like they were a Paradoxical Outcome deck. Would it be unreasonable to mainboard Stony's Vintage? No! We are, in fact, mainboarding 4 Stony Silence in this format. We 100% have 4 main deck Stony Silences. Because the best decks right now in Vintage are apparently Paradoxical Outcome and Shops, both of which get pretty heavily wrecked by Stony Silence. 85 active players, yeah, it's pretty low. Sometimes you have to like sit here for a little bit, find an opponent. But at the time I stream, it usually fires off relatively quickly. I did like 1 practice league in like a Saturday morning, and one time the timing queue was like 15 minutes. Just like, God, this is the worst. Also, I think even a lot of like the more enfranchised Vintage players don't like the format as much right now. Because apparently, like, Paradoxical Outcome and Shops are just, like, the only decks in the format you can play to any reasonable degree of success. It's just kind of silly. But I'm not trying to make any claims. I know very little about this format. I'm just trying to do stupid things with Vintage Death and Taxes. It's called White Trash, but I'm not... Twitch doesn't let me put that in the title for some reason, I guess. So I have to call it Vintage Death and Taxes in the title. Oh, sweet. Didn't have to wait too long. I was playing Inferno Oath. It's kind of scary. Well, this hand's good against anything. I would just like snap keep this hand in a heartbeat. But if they're on Oath, this Relic Order gets even better. I don't know what all is in Inferno Oath as a deck, but... Oh man, I can't beat turn 1 Oath of Druids. Shit. We need to draw like Lotus Petal now. Or Containment Priest. Fuck. They got me good. Good news is I get to concede without showing them what I'm on, at least. Oh no, we drew another Relic Warrior too. Yeah, we just like can't beat an Inferno Titan. I'm just like not even gonna play any. Oh no, if I don't play anything, I have to move to discard. Guess I could Wasteland them. And they board like I'm Shops or something. Is it even worth doing that, or do I just concede now? I'll just concede now. My deck can just not beat an Inferno Titan that is in play, so... Or like anything that comes off Oath of Druids, I'm not going to beat any of that stuff. But we do have more Containment Priests. Discard Spirit Guide. Well, I just don't want to... Oh, discard Spirit Guide, throw them off, just like, what the fuck deck is he playing? Simian Spirit Guide. Just take him for a ride. God, I don't even even know. What do Oath decks look like? I'm gonna cheat because I just don't know anything about Vintage. Metagame. Vintage. Inferno Oath. 2 Inferno Titans and a Grizzlebrand. 2 Dax and an Arlen Cord. Jesus, Vintage plays like the weirdest shit. 1 mission briefing. 1 deep analysis. Gifts ungiven. I don't think this is like the standard, the stock list. Oh, here's my actual opponent, the Wolf, with 2 Ws. Oh, nope, this is like literally the deck he's playing. This deck is a fucking dumpster fire. What is this? Plays 7 artifacts, plays all the Moxen. I don't know, no Pearl. How many cards use the Yard? Opponent has Mission Briefing, Yogwell, Deep Analysis, Gifts Ungiven, kind of. Take the Time Treasure Cruise, probably still not worth boarding and rip. The fuck is this shit? Monkey. Yeah, exactly. We're on Spirit Guide Tribal all the time. Come on. Keep up, yo. Opponent doesn't have a lot of cantrips. Maybe Spirited Labyrinth is... Spirits of the Labyrinth are bad. I guess, like, the Stoneforge package is pretty miserable. We don't really need a clock. We just want a bunch of disruptive guys. Can this deck beat 3 Swords to Plowshares? Not that we're going to draw 3 Swords to Plowshares, but they only have 3 creatures in the whole deck. They have an Arlen Cord. Monkey control. We only have 4 monkeys. Can we, like, zoo control? We have some cats. We got some monkeys. I don't think I'm supposed to keep turn 1 Uncounterable Thalia and then absolutely nothing else. Wow, they sideboard Stormbreath Dragons? That's horrifying. Fuck. Well, we're probably dead. Oh, we got Containment Priest and Relic Order. This is definitely keepable. Don't think I top this. I want to find another white source as soon as possible for this Relic Order. We can stop turn 1 Oath, because we are on the play this time. Some tensions rising in the chat. Yeah, we're just gonna run out Thalia. Tax my opponent's stuff. Mission Briefing is weird. I guess they just want a Snapcaster Mage, but they obviously can't play Snapcaster Mage because of Oath of Druids. Well, if they're forcing that, they're not forcing this Containment Priest, so that's good. Pitch Mental Misstep. Makes sense. Ooh. Gonna snap off casting this Wingmare. Go get him, horsey. What does Arlen Cord do? Should I be, like, concerned about this card existing? No, it doesn't lightning bolt until you flip it to the backside. Honestly, not a sports guy. I've just had the username for a decade. I don't know why that's so amusing to me. That is funny. Opponent is trying to figure out what my... I was like, I think I'm missing something here. My opponent is... Oh, my opponent's trying to figure out how I cast the Wingmare. They missed the Spirit Guide pitch. They're just like, how the fuck did he... What am I... What's going on? This thing is definitely 3 mana. Well, we have Priest to handle an Oath. We have Relic Order to maybe handle an Oath. I'm probably just going to eat this Mox Emerald if I find another white mana. Because like I could just like Relic Ward the Mox, fire off Wasteland. It's like 2-mana cantrip, 2-mana Ancestral, 1-mana Gush. All right, deal. Wingmare Bug do cost 2 mana. God, I fucking wish. Oh, another Mox. Rude. Just tell them you're letting all this stuff to play. Oh yeah, we got horses too. Horses, cats, apes. Well, definitely not playing anything here. I'd love to cast some of the cards in my hand. I might just run out this Containment Priest as a threat, just to attack for 2. Opponent's getting close to just casting an Inferno Titan, and that scares me a lot. Opponent does have 2 Volks, so that's kind of scary. Deactivating. Sure, this thing just dies because we have Containment Priest, right? They plus it. I'm gonna flash in response to the plus to try and like have them not draw another Force of Will. Maybe that's wrong. But I don't want to get this Containment Priest countered by something. They've already played their land of return, so the other thing they can do is like multiple Mox and to take this priest off the board now. They discard Deep Analysis and the Trop that we knew about. This is 2-mana Divination. Oh, he can't force because Wingmare. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna slam the second Wingmare and then hopefully just wasteland my opponent a bunch next turn. Just give him less. Yeah, that's fair. Definitely give him less info. I wasn't thinking about Wingmare tax, so there's no reason not to put it in on end step. Three mana Brainstorm, deal. We're just gonna untap and just wasteland the crap out of my opponent at least once. Oh man, does Mission Briefing combo with Gush? Mission Briefing. You may cast that card this turn. Gush says... Yeah, I think it does combo with Gush. I don't know what you could possibly be floating mana for. Some 0 mana instant. Beaten down. Really want to find a white source so we can like Relic Ward Mox out of here. Just continue to Stone Rain them. I guess that makes more sense on a lot of Mission Briefings in my opponent's deck. Oh, wait. Should have done that on the upkeep, but didn't realize that they just fetched in their upkeep because they wanted to shuffle away their Brainstorm cards. But now we can get like Mission Briefing. Mission Briefing costs like 900 mana, so it doesn't really work out. Sudden Shock on my Priest. It's a little scary. That's even more scary. So they're at 5. So I think if I just Relic Ward this Mox Emerald, we'll be okay, right? I just want to make sure I have Lethal in play, and just like cutting them off of even more mana seems fine. Sudden shock, huh? Well, now we have lethal in play at least. My opponent's pretty far away from casting anything. With double Wingmare in play. Sick. Now we just have to win this next game. Which might be more tough. So I think my opponent is on. What are they just like blind boarded in Sudden Shock? They saw nothing and then assumed I was a Sudden Shock deck. Or a deck that Sudden Shock's good against. If they're on the same list that they've played 2 days ago, then they're on like both Stormbreath Dragon and Toxic Deluge, both of which are just absolutely horrifying cards. Also Blazing Archon, I don't think I can beat. But I guess I can't really beat them if they ever, like, Oath of Druids into anything, so there's no real reason to board in Plows to try and beat Blazing Archon, because they're never going to cast it, it's 9 mana. I think most of my plans involve preventing Oath of Druids from triggering. That being the case, I think we just run it back. I liked most of what I had going on there. No, they're probably... I mean, it's probably not unreasonable, so just, like, hedge boarding the Sudden Shocks against a deck that just, like, conceded a turn 1 Oath. It's more unlikely to be a Force deck, because obviously they didn't force it, like some deck. But it could have just been, like, I was on a deck that not getting forced, but... I don't think you can, like, Google my name and find my vintage deck. We've played, like, exactly 1 league with it. So they have, like, 2 Sudden Shocks, 1 Deluge, 2 Stormbreaths, which are horrifying. Maybe I want Batterskull just to combat Stormbreath Dragon. I like bringing this whole package. What would I cut? Stonies seem okay. My opponent does have, like, a lot of Moxen. They are also a 17-land deck. And fuck it, let's just submit. 5 mana is kind of hard for them to get to, right? If we're, like, stoning them off of Moxes and stuff. Probably shows up a pile of white creatures. But, I mean, if you, like, you see someone playing Legacy Death and Taxes, you wouldn't assume that they're playing Vintage Death and Taxes, I don't think. Seems pretty good. Spirit is pretty weak against my opponent. Sand actually does nothing against Oath. It's, like, specifically the card Oath. So maybe I'm supposed to ship it on that, but, like, Spirit's, like, not good against my opponent is the issue. I could just not turn 1 Spirit. I could just turn 2 Wingmare, try to turn 3 Wingmare. Maybe I'm supposed to ship this for, like, just a better hand. I think so. I think I need, like, better hate cards, like this Containment Priest. I think I'm just gonna top stuff. We can turn 1 Priest. We can even turn 1 Wingmare. Uncounterable Wingmare if I want it. Dear, Black Lotus. This is pretty scary. It's a pretty scary start. If my opponent just doesn't immediately use this Lotus, I might just turn 1 Revoker it. Hopefully they don't turn 1 Stormbreath Dragon me, because fuck. Oh, turn 1 Dak. Alright, that's more beatable. My opponent has an answer to my Revoker, they get to take my Mana Crypt, which is horrible, but I think I just need to run out turn 1 Revoker on this. Why do they still have Mindbreak Trap in their deck? What? Seems very bad. Opponent only has 3 cards left in their hand, so... I wonder if I make this Revoker uncounterable just to make sure. So, like, gives us the best odds of not dying here. Oh, shit. Oh, not F6, though. Clicked OK on accident. Wrong thing. I was trying to cancel. Alright. Cast that. I'm just like overthinking this. Well, we have the one white mana for our thing, so I think we're just gonna make sure this Phyrexian Revoker resolves, and then hope they don't have a removal spell for it. Because if they do, they just kill it, take my Mana Crypt, and then we're pretty up shit creek. Deck Faden. If I play Spirited Labyrinth, my opponent can actually target me with Dak, and it becomes draw 1, discard 2. I don't like this. I don't like them trying to cast spells here. Unless it's an Oath. Please play in Oath of Druids. Is this like Dig Their Time? Treasure Cruise? Yeah. I suppose the reason to like not put this on horror is I could like double spell next turn, although it would be awkward because I have to main phase a Containment Priest. I think I'm just gonna be running out. I'm just gonna go Planeswing Mare. Attack deck down to 2. I feel like my opponent's definitely finding answers to my Phyrexian Broker with this Dig Their Time. Alright, heads, don't let me down. Heads, you let me down. Attack deck. Alright, well, they're forcing that, so makes me slightly more comfortable about something like Containment Priest resolving, assuming they have plans to oath me. Oof. Now they can't take my Crypt, at least. Or else it would kill their deck. They do get to like filter through their draws a whole bunch. I think I'm just gonna go land. Now we have enough mana that I can just probably spew out my whole hand, right? Oh wow. They cash in deck, take my Crypt. Deal. I think I'm just gonna Stony them. Don't want them casting like a Stormbreath Dragon or something. And now my Mana Crypt is a clock for them. Like, they're losing 1.5 life per turn. And they only have 1 card in hand. It's getting ever closer to that horrifying 5 mana point. Let's go 3/1s. Wow, never lucky. Alright. So the last card is Inferno Titan. God, I hope not, but that would make sense. Could also be like Grizzlebrand or whatever other Oath garbage card they have in their hand. Or these decks play Stormbreath. This guy specifically plays like 2 Stormbreath on the sideboard for whatever reason. So I'm just kind of unnaturally scared of that card. But it would make sense if my opponent had Inferno Titan. Their normal creature suite in the main deck is 2 Inferno Titan, 1 Grizzlebrand. Alright, well we have Relic Order for the Oath. I assume the reason they took Crypt was to set up a different Titan. That would make sense. Enigma Drake? What is my opponent's deck? What? They just have Enigma Drake in their Oath deck? I just have Lethal. I should attack through an Enigma Drake. If their last card is a removal spell, they can, like, eat the Relic Order, remove this, go to 1, but then A, they might die to the Crypt, B, we can just play another Spirit and Containment Priest for the Oath, but Enigma Drake seems like a weird card in your Oath of Druids deck. Anyway, I guess we won that. That was 2-1, right? We like, oh yeah, we died game 1 without doing anything. Yeah, Vintage is just such a fucking weird format. There's just like so many bullshit cards that you just get to play because it's Vintage. Enigma Drake, Arlen Cord, fucking I forget what some of the Oath decks were, or like the Paradox Outcome decks were playing, but he's gonna play so much nonsense. This guy's playing a Deep Analysis in his Vintage deck. Stormbreath Dragons in the sideboard. I've seen Night Veil Spectre see play. Vintage is like full of a bunch of silly cards backed up by like these just absurd engines, like Oath of Druids, the Moxen, Mishra's Workshop, Bazaar of Baghdad. If I were to actually play Vintage, I would definitely be playing this survival deck, because the survival of the fittest deck looks just fucking sweet. It's just amazing. Have you ever wanted to like survival away 2 Vengevines into a Basking Root Wallet into a hollow one? Because that's what this deck does. Survival of the fittest into your Wonder, discard it, give all your Vengevines and hollow ones flying. This deck is just absolute nonsense. But it also plays, like, all the Moxen. Oh, no, it does not play... No, it does play Pearl. This guy's not playing... Oh, no, yeah, no, he's playing all the Moxen. I'm blind. All the Moxen and Lotus and Recall and not Time Walk. Time Walk seems like it'd be okay in that deck, but I don't know. I don't know what... A lot of things I don't understand about Vintage. You just, like, get 2 Vengevines into Hollow one, and then Time Walk, that was 20 damage, right? Come on, we got one more match. Vintage Lee, you can do it. Hook me up. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that, like, Enigma Drake, really? Like, if I just didn't have... So my opponent probably drew that for turn, because they didn't cast it last turn. So if I just didn't have an answer to their Oath, they were just going to Oath into an Enigma Drake. And it's, like, very beatable comparing to Oathing into Inferno Titan or whatever. And it's not like they cut the Oaths and, like, the big creatures and decided to play, like, a weird 4-color control-ish deck. Because they still had the Oath in their deck. Maybe they shaved them? Apparently playing a local 2K this weekend. Is there somewhere I can shamelessly copy your DNQ list? Haven't touched Legacy in months. So there are a couple places. If you type !point deck list, it should probably give you my Vintage deck list right now, but it'll take you to my Stream Decker page. which should have my most recent Legacy deck list as well. It's called labeled Legacy D&T, parentheses like Moonbase Winner or whatever. And there's also like I wrote a tournament report on it on our MTG Legacy. And I posted the deck list there, the link to the deck list there as well. We're on the play. This deck really wants to win die rolls. Alright, I'll keep this. Turn 1 Stony. Hope it's a good matchup for Stony. Turn 2 Stoneforge. Turn 3 Wingmare. Seems fine. I don't think I'm playing this deck to not keep turn 1 Stony Silence on the play. My opponent's on Dredge. We're just never going to win game 1 anyway unless we draw our 1 of main deck Containment Priest. Which is probably not good. I think we need to swap that around for something. Put on a 6-card hand. Stony's at least decent against every deck in the format that isn't Dredge, I think. It's like everybody else is going to be playing Moxen and like on-color Moxen and Lotus at the worst. One says hello and good luck. You too. Get Stony silenced. Let's hope they're not on Dredge. Don't dredge me, bro. Alright, not Dredge. Could be like a fair blue deck, in which case the Stony Silence is not good still, but we have other cards specifically for this matchup, so... Not specifically for this matchup, but we have other cards that are good against like the weird blue control decks. The old Stony Silence, Stoneforge Mystic combo. When they hello, good luck, and then you play turn 1 Stony. I almost like didn't say you two because I had already put the Stony on the stack. I was like, ooh, is this poor taste? Nice. Nice Mox Pearl opponent. One of them was a Wingmare or put in Batterskull next turn. Good luck, you'll need it. Second Stony, interesting. So my opponent's not to like repeal mana. The Mox Pearl makes me think that either they're on like the Jeskai control deck. I don't know if that deck plays Pearl. It might not even play Pearl, or they're on Mentor. Or not Mentor. They're on a Paradoxical Outcome, are my two guesses. I think either way, I think I just want to play an uncounterable Wingmare. I also don't want to attack into a Snapcaster Mage if I'm not putting in Batterskull. So I think I'm just going to put this Cavern on Pegasus, and then cast a Bryn Wingmare. Don't really think I want a 4/4 more than I want to just like tax whatever my opponent is trying to do. The 1 damage is also not worth running Stoneforge into Snapcaster and leaving me stranded with a 5-mana Batterskull in my hand. Could also run out second Stony if they go like 3rd land pass, and I need to be wary of a repeal for 2 if they are on Paradoxical Outcome. Because repeal is usually the main deck interaction they play. Volcanic. I think that means not Paradoxical Outcome. I think that means the Jeskai deck. The Paradoxical Outcome deck is Esper. They can't like DAC me here though. Could cast a Fire and Ice on one of my things. Specifically Fire. Are they trying to cast deck, then realized they couldn't? Ooh, that's a good draw. Is this like Gush? Can I just walk into a Gush? I'm not even sure if I hate like wastelanding into a Gush there. But it time walks them really bad with the Vryn Wingmare in play, yeah. Like, they might not even be able to just rebuild in time, just playing land drops. We're gonna untap into 7 power in play. They can't get to, like, Dak take my Batter Skull. Not that that really matters. But they have to go to cleanup. I guess I can just run out Relic Order to present lethal. Just take their Mox Pearl. Mine. It's my Mox Pearl. Yeah, they're just dead. Sick. So I think my opponent is on the, like, just the blue-red deck. Blue-white-red. Variably has, like, Mentors or some other random creatures besides Snapcaster Mages. This is, like, the matchup where I want to, like, cut all my Stonies and bring in Sword of War and Peace. Or Sword of Fire and Ice, I mean. I think bring in, like, a couple of Plows. Snapcaster annoyingly trades with almost every one of my creatures, and also they usually have, like, a Mentor or, I'm trying to think of other shit. I've seen Young Pyromancers and stuff like that. I just was born like 3 Plows, so I don't have anything else. Like, leave in Containment Priest as a flash creature. Doesn't seem super good, but I think I like this. It's fine. I don't think boarding in 3 Plows against a control deck is super good, but I think it's better than having Stony Silences in my deck, especially because I'm boarding in Sword of Fire and Ice. Sand has turn 1 Chalice on 1 into, like, you have 2 Plows, which is annoying, but we also have Stoneforge. I think I'm going to keep this. That was not a good draw. I think I want to Chalice on 1 in this matchup. I think they only have On-Color Moxen and Lotus if I were to put it on 0. Although, putting Chalice on 1, I have 2 Plows in my hand is a little dumb, but they probably counter it, or they like need to answer it. Don't know if I'm going to Stoneforge for Sword or Batterskull. Oh yeah, turn 1 Chalice and 2/1 drops in the hand. Welcome to Vintage, I guess. I think my opponent needs to take the Chalice off the table before, like, I get concerned about it. Discard Mental Misstep. Sure. What am I tutoring with this Stoneforge is my real question. think I'm gonna grab sword. Batter Skull feels really bad if this thing gets killed. At least I can cast a sword for the future. Also, sword helps me take a take a creature off the table. Oh, there's nothing yet. They should have actual nothing. Dang. Discard second mental misstep. I really want to get this sword online, but I also really want to play this Vryn Wingmare. I think I'm just gonna play Vryn Wingmare. It's the same thing I did last game. They can counter this one though. Not gonna attack into Snapcaster Mage. Maybe I should have used Karakas that turn instead. Because now if I draw a land, I still can't like play and equip sword in the same turn. Yep. Yeah, Chalice seems to be doing okay against my opponent if they just like don't have anything and they just need to make an Ambush Viper here. Put sword on Wingmare, go to town. My concern is like Dak take the sword after that. Because we can't actually plow their Snapcaster Mage because of my Chalice. I guess I know I can just kill the snap with the trigger. Seems like an aggressive attack. We'll just put in the sword finally. Mox Pearl. Sure. That gives them white mana. It also puts them one step closer to like to dacking my sword away. Ooh, Mana Crypt. Doesn't let me cast anything, right? Because this costs 1 mana to play, so I'll only have... I can play Spirit plus Sword if... Although Spirit plus Sword is kind of a non-bo because I don't get to draw cards. If I use this other Karakas, I could run out the Spirit, which I might want to do. I think it's probably worth the damage. Let's just cast Mana Crypt here. Just use a bunch of Lotus Petals. I think I'm going to actually equip to Stoneforge. Because my opponent wants to kill the Wingmare. So if they have a removal spell, I'd rather them kill. They have like another snap. Ooh, Containment Priest. That's fine. Prevents me from getting the trigger here. I guess maybe that's a reason to equip here. I was playing around another Snapcaster Mage by doing that equip as well. Just lets me attack for more damage, but I suppose this is fine. Also, I still don't want to play Spirit, I don't think. I think I'd rather like draw more cards with Sword of Fire and Ice. They could have like an Abrade or something, or some sort of disenchant effect. at this stage to kill the sword, but that's fine. I'm gonna try to like race me, especially put this mana crypt into play. Let's see if my opponent has like second Containment Priest. No. Let's get the Snapcaster off the battlefield. Oh, Jesus. 3/4. We can't quite cast that. We have 5 mana, but it costs 6 with Wingmare in play. But that's actually not a horrible draw. I might move the sword over to this Wingmare right now. Just so I can put in the Batterskull next turn. Notably, this also protects the Wingmare from red removal. So it's like not a horrible idea. The deck was super loose on their part. Yeah, like the continual attack with Snapcaster Mages is kind of weird. I mean, the Snapcaster wasn't blocking that last turn, so I guess the attack was fine. What? They did have a Containment Priest, and they were just like, nah. I'm just not gonna prevent this sword trigger. Man, these Swords of Plowshares would be really good at killing all my opponent's creatures if I didn't put a Chalice on one. But we're just gonna have a Batterskull, so if their plan is to try and race me with like minimal creature combat and my Mana Crypt, then I have a Lifelinker that has something to say about that. Even if they deck take the sword, it's stuck on my Wingmare until they equip it to something else, so I can just attack with the Wingmare and trigger kill their only creature in play. So they can never like de-equip it from the Wingmare. Equipment are really weird with control magic effects. Alright, down to 10. What do they have? Yeah. This is the one thing we were like vaguely playing around, but not really. Oh yeah, they're just gonna loot. Deal. We can just take the deck off the board. I'm tempted to just not even take the deck off the board, but I'm a little concerned about the control magic effect with me having access to like a sword and a Batterskull and stuff. This card's Brainstorm Mental Misstep. They don't want the sword. I mean, like I was just talking about, they can't do anything with it if they take it. Like, it's still equipped to the Wingmare until they equip it to something else. So it's, like, not very good for them to just minus their DAC down to 1 and then get their Containment Priest killed by the sword trigger. Because I imagine they're running out of creatures. Ooh, another Wingmare. That's pretty good. So now we just have double Wingmare. We can put in this Batterskull. We're just like very much not dead. We have lethal on the following turn. I guess we don't quite have lethal, right? If they don't attack with Priest, we only have 6, 7, 8, 9. because they block the Batter Skull with the Priest. But there's not a huge amount that they can do from here. There's also a chance that I could have just like left the deck in play and just hit my opponent for 4 down to 6 and killed their Priest. But I don't like the line of giving them like 2 extra digs. Because I don't think there's a lot in their deck that can handle the current board. An aggressive attack. Now they're super dead on board unless they get 6 cards in hand and they have some mana, but let's just gain a bunch of life, make sure their beatdown plan definitely isn't working. They cast a 3-drop now. Don't know what they would play, but Mentor, sure. It does make blockers, I guess. You can cast like a 0-drop into it. And then I just get to kill the Mentor with Sword of Fire and Ice. Man, this Chalice has been nothing but bad for me. And not really, because my opponent has discarded like 8,000 1-drops. But just kind of funny how I've just had 2 plows in my hand the whole game. I kind of expected them to take it off the board. And then they just didn't. Wait, do I have lethal if I just equip the Germ? I do, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Just fly over these Mentors. My opponent has 1 mana up, but all of their spells cost 2 more, so... Also, I just have a fucking 8/7. Hang on, I want to screenshot this. Got him. Have I just like 4/1s twice with this dumpster fire? He's gotten like 2 4/1s on stream. This deck is an absolute mess. Alright, we beat Blue, White, Red in... Was that in 2? I think that was 2-0'd, right? Yeah, it was 2-0'd. Alright, data is stored. Deck continues to be sweet. We just 4/1'd twice with this dumpster fire. But it is definitely fun. I'm thinking more and more that I actually am just gonna like play this in the vintage event for kicks. It's like kind of silly, but I have all the cards. I think I'm gonna borrow a pile of Spirit Guides from a buddy of mine, and then like buy a strip mine, I guess. But anyway, that's gonna be it for the stream today. What did we lose to again? We lost to... Shoot, it was round 2. We lost to something pretty badly. Oh, it's like that rug control deck we got pretty savaged. That was it. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging tonight. Find someone to host. Who's playing some Legacy? This is the Miracles guy, right? Anzi. Oh no. Is this a different Miracles guy? Is this the guy playing Miracles? I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna host this guy. He's one of the person playing Legacy right now. So, anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out tonight. Hope you had a good time. If you like the content, you want to see more death and taxes stuff, we do that all the time on this channel. So you can follow, subscribe, or donate to support the channel. Follows are totally free, help you know when I'm going live. Subscriptions get you a sweet Thalia emote and Thraben-themed subscription badge in the chat. And donations, I'd be more than happy to play a death and taxes list you want to see taken through a league. Tomorrow we're going to be playing one of our viewers' Ancient Tomb Legacy Death and Taxes decks. Just got like Ancient Tombs, and you power up something like a pile of chalices on the board, I think, something like that. But anyway, other things you can do to support the channel are subscribe to my YouTube, or follow me on Twitter. YouTube is where I post all of my streams after they're done being live, so there's just a ton of D&T content if you want to go practice up and like study up on any of the Modern or Legacy, or a little bit of Vintage now, those formats. And Twitter is just when where I post when I'm going live, that sort of thing, other Magic content. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. I'm gonna host this guy playing Legacy here. Hope you guys have a good night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow.